StaleMates, what's up? It's been a little bit. Dropped an episode this morning. Today we have a bunch of Twitter tea topics, a bunch of random, I wouldn't even say this is like really basically Twitter stuff. This is a lot of just random news and whatnot throughout the wrestling world from the past week or so. This is kind of going to be the future of this show. So if you guys saw last week, we announced that we finally are on Apple and Spotify and whatever else. We're on every, I think, platform. I'm not exactly sure. I don't actually handle that part. But we'll do the interviews that we've been doing. And then a lot of you guys like the stuff where it's just me kind of ranting in front of the camera. We're going to be doing that. Obviously, I'm doing that right now. So the structure of the future show that we're going to have, and eventually during the college season, I believe it's going to be live. We ordered a bunch of equipment to make sure that everything's smooth. We'll have different camera angles and different guests. I don't want to reveal the name of the show, but it'll be coming soon. We're trying to practice it, get the kinks out. But the point of this thing is trying to give out the structure of the show. So the beginning will be kind of like this monologue thing. I talk about different wrestling news that's happening, and then an interview. Then at the end, we'll have, the callers and everything else that we're trying to do. So I just wanted to say it's coming soon. Hopefully this college season happens. That's when things are really going to start to kick into gear. But until then, we'll keep rocking the YouTube stuff, the videos, the podcasts, everything that we're doing. Thank you guys for watching. Let's get right into it. The coffee mug. Let's go. But first, I want to give a shout out to Big Bloom Coffee Roaster. You see it right there? Something like that. Buddy of mine, Dylan from Iowa City, got this thing going. He is a coffee connoisseur, whatever you want to say. He's a coffee expert. He started roasting his own beans. He's been obsessed with coffee for as long as I've known him, and he sent me some of this stuff. I'm drinking it today. It is fantastic. Hope you guys can check it out. If you go to their Instagram, it is at Big Bloom Coffee. Check them out. It's amazing. If you love coffee, you love wrestling, if you love either one of those things, check them out. They're going to have a website up soon, but for now, just follow them on Instagram for any updates. Big Bloom Coffee Roasters, Big Bloom Coffee on Instagram. All right, let's get into the topics. Let's start off with Fresno State Wrestling getting cut. You hate to see it. I feel like we do this every freaking month now where we get on Twitter, we get online, and next thing you know, some program is announcing that they're no longer going to have wrestling. It's the same song and dance every single time. We try to figure out why. We try to figure out how. We try to save them, and sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. This one, though, you just kind of got to chalk up to bad timing. With COVID, this program's only been around a few years now. I've had the opportunity to watch them several times. They wrestle Iowa State since they're in the Big 12, and they're exciting to watch. Actually, I think it was last year, Iowa State had their dual meet at Fresno State, and if I remember correctly, this place was popping. They had tons of people in the crowd. They had tons of music. They had a lot of energy. It seems like it was going in the right direction. But when COVID happened, programs lost a lot of money. So what do? You kind of cut the low man on the totem pole, and that seems to be what happened. These guys had a lot of potential, great coach, California, it's beautiful out there, a lot of good high school athletes in California, a lot of good in-state recruiting. They had current good athletes there, a lot of national qualifiers there, good coaching staff, everything, whatever. But sometimes things don't always work out in your favor, and I don't know what the resolution is to that. Some people are saying, we need to stop being more reliant on the NCAA and go towards more of a independent route, like a UFC or Bellator or whatever. I don't know. I have no idea. I was listening to another podcast out there, or show, whatever you want to say, and there is somebody on there that was trying to blame strippers. I'll tell you one thing, it wasn't strippers. Strippers have never hurt nobody. Okay, we can't blame a whole Division I wrestling program getting axed because some wrestlers decided to enjoy some Where's the Bad Wrestling Takes Twitter account when you need them? But I don't know. I don't know the answer to this one. You know, there's much smarter people than me, much more smarter people than myself that could tell you the intricacies of how this stuff works and Title IX and COVID and all the boring stuff. All I know is I'm sad to see this happen. They're a great addition to the Big 12. I try to go to as many Iowa State dual meets as I can. Fresno State was one that I've been wanting to go to for a long time now. Anywhere that we can go where there's warmer weather than the Midwest, I'm down to go visit. Bummed that can't happen right now. Maybe they'll bring the program back in the future. I would love to see that. But for now, it sucks. Next topic. Donald Trump awards Dan Gable the Presidential Medal of Freedom. This one was one of those things where you love sports, you hate politics. Sometimes they do this where they kind of come together and you get wrestling Twitter and political Twitter into one, and it sucks. I want to preface this by saying I am the last guy that you should ever take political advice from. I'm the last guy that you would want to talk to about this stuff, and I'm going to keep it that way. But what I will say, and you can criticize me all you want for saying this, but let's give Dan Gable his roses, okay? So many times people die, and then, you know, you say all these nice things about them, and I'm a fan of telling people the awesome stuff while you got them, while they're in front of you. And after all these things that Dan Gable's been through in his life, he gets this awesome award regarding politics. It doesn't matter who gives you the award. I know some people like the president, some people hate the president. I totally understand that. I'm totally aware of that. I work in a barbershop. This stuff gets brought up all the time. But let's not take it out on Dan Gable. If he wants to accept the award, which he did, or is going to, I don't think it's happened yet, let him do that. The guy's been such a great ambassador to our sport for however long, still is. Nothing but respect to Dan Gable. He's on the Mount Rushmore of wrestling greats. Let's let him do it. Who cares? If he wanted to reject it, let him do that. Who cares? Let Dan Gable do whatever the he wants to do. Today, the Willie Trials, Willie Watch coming right at you, happened again. Now, there's been a few different times where the Willie Trials has had these kind of hearing things and people are asking for a recap and this and that. I don't actually think that there's enough here to actually do a breakdown that would be entertaining in any sort of way. I've watched them all, almost all of them. Okay, the first two, when I did the videos on day one and day two, that was actually really interesting. And I watched the entire thing several times so I could get everything down. But for now, they're kind of battling about what could be used in the case, in the actual trial. The trial isn't for 2 weeks till now. And so a lot of this stuff is kind of legal jargon, like semantics, that is super confusing to myself, who I'm the first to tell you I'm not a legal expert. Shout out to Karen Flo, Flo Legal. But I don't think this is really entertaining enough to do a recap. I'm touching on it here a little bit. They were talking about something with legal fees and different other cases and court costs. The only thing that was kind of interesting was there's an exhibit or some sort of evidence that they want to use, but Flo doesn't want it to be public because it's streamed on YouTube because it's a trade secret. And Judge Livingston is trying to tell them, in order for Willie to defend himself, he has to know what that trade secret is, because you can't accuse him of something if you can't actually say what it is. But Flo and their legal team doesn't want to say it out loud because then the public, i.e. myself and you guys, would find out what these so-called trade secrets are. And so there's this weird kind of Mexican standoff where Judge Livingston's saying, we can use this exhibit, but you're going to have to tell us the intricacies of it. And Flo's saying, well, we want to use this exhibit, but we don't want to tell the whole world what these things are because it's kind of a trade secret. I really hope that they end up saying what the trade secrets are, because that's what fascinates myself. And I think that's what fascinates a lot of wrestling fans, or my audience, or whatever you want to say. So we'll see what happens with that. They're still kind of working that out, I believe. I didn't get to catch all of it because it was super boring. So you guys didn't miss much. In a couple weeks, we'll find out what actually happens, but we'll stay tuned for that. Last thing here, NLWC event tonight on Rockfin. Make sure you subscribe to the NLWC channel so they get paid all their dollars. However, if you don't do it, tweet about it so Kale will call you out. I'd love to see that. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Comment, like, subscribe. Thank you to everybody who's bought the merch. We ship out every week the merch. You should get it. If you have any questions, please let me know. And if you ever have any thoughts or something that you want to say to the show, call and leave a voicemail or leave a voice clip or send us a text message to 515-412-4269. That's 515-412-4269. You never know. You might get a free shirt. Oh, before we go, Dung. We are putting out our first documentary on who sent Pat Mineo elephant dung. Did Flo do it? Did somebody else do it? Did we do it? Did you do it? Who knows? We're covering it. We're getting to the bottom of it. I believe it's going to drop this weekend if we can get everything done in time. I am getting married this weekend, so if we don't get it done, lay off. I'm trying as hard as I can. Tyler's flying in from Colorado. We're going to try to finish it. Thank you for watching.